South Africa has a renewable energy master plan, and this is what the Deputy Minister of Energy has brought here to this G20 engagement. This engagement here is looking at the critical minerals and their importance in ensuring that there's sustainable development, at the same time there's economic growth in terms of beneficiation and the opportunities that could be presented by these critical minerals. They are in demand as we speak right now globally, hence South Africa is pushing to ensure that it positions itself and no one is left behind here at home in capitalizing on this critical minerals. So I'm going to bring into the conversation with us this afternoon the Deputy Minister of Energy and Electricity, Deputy Minister Samantha Graham-Murray, who just give us a sense of your presence here. It becomes very important because your department with the one of Minister Gwede Mantashe, they are somewhat intertwined and linked, which is why we find you here just bringing this renewable master plan to show, because most of the people would not know that you've been hard at work there at the department in ensuring that at least the renewables are really capitalized on, looking at the opportunities that they present. Welcome to the SABC. How important is it, Minister, that we find you here today?
Hi, thank you so much. It's such a lovely opportunity to chat to you. So we were brought on to be part of the conversation. As Minister Mantashe said to me earlier, they do the dirty work and we do the clean work. In other words, they pull out the minerals that we need in order to deliver on our renewable energy mandate. So the South African Renewable Energy Master Plan, which has recently been adopted by Cabinet and is now in full implementation swing, is aligned to developing a value chain around the renewable energy sector. So this is industrialisation. It's not about building more plants, it's about building the components that are required in the plants. It's about building the skills that are needed. It's about bringing together all the resourcing so that we can create a really strong renewable energy value chain. It's about creating project pipeline certainty so that there's a renewed desire to invest in this sector. And so the importance of the conversation is that we need a lot of those critical minerals if we're going to develop this value chain so that we can provide the beneficiation aspect of the minerals that are being extracted.
That becomes the buzzword, beneficiation. And the Minister just talking about the pit to pot approach that has left a whole lot of communities reeling. And we see him saying that the G20 presidency of South Africa presents an opportunity here to set a clear new path that would see us doing things differently. What worries you around some of the issues that he highlighted here? Also touching on the issue of illegal mining as well as they try. Globally, he says it's a phenomenon, an issue. And as South Africa, we also find ourselves there. When you look at where we find ourselves, what concerns you and the opportunity of the G20? How do we actually capitalize on this?
Look, absolutely. I mean, illegal mining, we know that that's a huge issue in this country. But I think one of the problems we have is that we're not beneficiating. So there is no value chain. So there's this kind of, production and then it stops. So I think if we're looking at I spoke earlier on when I said, okay, that's fine, we can talk about pit to product. So at the end of the day, if we're creating that value chain, we start creating a more formalized structure from the extraction to the actual beneficiation aspect of it. In terms of the G20 as a whole, 600 million Africans do not have access to energy on this continent. We need to be part of changing that. And we are, as signatories to Mission 300, whereby the World Bank and the African Development Bank will look at finding ways to provide electricity to 300 million Africans across the continent by 2030. We see the South African Renewable Energy Master Plan in conjunction with the Critical Mineral Strategy as a fantastic platform for us to develop products that we can export into Africa so that we start providing African products for Africa, into Africa. Instead of importing into Africa everything that they need, we start creating that program. So it'll be about the critical minerals, we'll be able to export the skills. So that's the idea behind the South African Renewable Master Plan, is that we're not only creating an industrialization mechanism for South Africa, but we're part of the industrialization of the whole of Africa. And with the G20 spotlight on Africa as a whole, we can start having the conversations as a continent instead of individual countries.